So I just got some paint here to touch up my Mini Cooper, and as you can see, the match turned out terrible. Totally different from the rest of the paint. And I just got it to do some little touch-ups, and with this it's so far off, even if you're just doing little rock chips, it's gonna look terrible. And I'm gonna show you a little trick on how to get the paint to match perfectly. So I got this paint from the local paint shop that I go to. And basically, what I do, they're nice enough. They'll give me little samples of the different paint that's in there and hook me up with it for free, so I can get it to match better if I need to. And maybe if you're ordering it, you might be able to ask and see if they can do that too. The only way you wouldn't be able to do this is if you're getting it in a spray can. And just make sure you're not using some like any old white or black, because it'll say here the exact colors, and this is an easy one since it's this off-white and there's only 3 different colors in it: specific, yellow, black, and white. So this one is way too light and white looking, as you can see. So I have the black right here and the yellow that's used to mix that. And so what I'm gonna do is just put little bits of these into here to get the match better. And since this is an off-white, where you're going to want to do this pretty much anytime, you're just going to want to put tiny little bits in at once when you do it, because you don't want to mess it up and go too far, or just have to go, you know, I don't want to make it too dark and then have to go back in with a white and keep doing that. And most paints will have a lot more colors than just 3 in them. Most of them will have, you know, different metallics and all sorts of different colors in them. So you have to be really careful when you're adding it, and just do a tiny bit at a time. But basically what you're gonna do is just pour a little bit in, just a tiny bit at once. It's way better to do too little than too much. If you go too much, you could end up messing it up really badly. So you're just gonna do a tiny bit like that, and then put the top back on. Or if it's a little touch-up thing like this, you know, you just put like a couple drops in when you first start it, and then just shake it up. And then you're just gonna shake it up a lot. And then the next thing you're going to want to do after you've mixed it up is just take, I like to use a Q-tip, but you can use a rag, like a paper towel or whatever. Just put it right next to the first mark that you made, and you can do this anywhere in your car. It's also really good to do it in the sunlight and look at it not in the sunlight, and get a good look at it from all different angles to really see if it matches good, because it's really hard to tell. You're still not going to get it perfect. And don't worry about putting it on your car. You can put it anywhere. You just take a rag with some acetone and it'll just wipe right off. I'm going to show you later in the video. And some people I know, they'll spray the paint out on like a spray out card and then hold it next to the car and look at it like that. But I found it a lot easier to tell by just putting a little dab of paint directly on the car. And so what I would do is just keep adding a little bit more color into the paint can, and then just keep reapplying it next to them until you get it to where you think it looks perfect. But I'm not going to keep showing you in the video. I'm just going to show you my finished project, or my finished product that I have here. And as you can see, that looks way better. You can barely tell the difference. And it took me a long time. I kept adding in paint, you know, maybe like 10 different times. And then here, there's a spot here where I finished the touch up. And I think it came out maybe a tiny bit darker, as you can see, but it's good enough. And that would be fine for if you're spraying a panel. That would be a match that's probably good enough to where if you just painted it here and didn't paint that panel, you just did a hard stop where you probably couldn't even really tell the difference. And since that Mini Cooper color only had the 3 colors mixed into it, and it just looked too white, like it was like an off-white kind of creamy color, it obviously didn't have enough yellow in it, so I knew to mix yellow in as well as the black. But most paint colors will have more different colors mixed into them to paint the color, or to make the color, so it won't be as obvious. And it's probably more important to get the value right, the lightness or darkness, than the color itself. I think it'll stand out and look worse if you have the value wrong, as long as the color isn't too bad. But if you want to fix the color, I'm going to show you a color wheel here to help you out a little bit. So say the color that you put on your car looks more red than the one, and you're going to want to mix in more green, the color opposite of it, to tone down the red. And you know, if it looks not as blue as the car's color, you could add in like a little bit of like the orange or yellow, since the complement to blue is going to be like an orange yellow. So you're going to want to just do the opposite on the color wheel to tone that down. And another thing, since most colors have metallics in them, you're going to want to make sure that the metallic, like the sparkliness in it, looks about the same as the other one. You might need to add in a little bit more metallic. But sometimes the metallics can be super expensive, so your shop might not give you samples of the metallic for free, because some of they're little flakes of metal, so some of them are really expensive just for tiny amounts. And I hope that video helped you guys out. You know, the first couple times I painted cars, the paint match came out like perfect, and I got one where it didn't, and I just kind of thought they always came out that good and just painted it, and then realized. And then, you know, I talked to my paint shop, they gave me those little samples, and I really think that the best way to do it is just to put those little dabs in the car. I haven't seen any other videos of people doing that. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and if it did, you know, it'd mean a lot to me if you leave a like. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, I'll get back to you. And if you want to see more videos like this, I have videos on flipping cars, auto repair videos. I'm gonna do more stuff like this about painting and body work, lots of detailing tricks and stuff like that. So if you want to see more videos like that, you know, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.